it was the coming out party of Darwin Nunez. Would you say that was it Darwin Nunez announcing himself on the as an English Premier League player and announcing himself on the league? Because those two goals, he took them superbly, and I think what Darwin Nunez kind of symbolizes to me is if he plays well, Liverpool win. He's one of those players where if he's on, Liverpool win. He's not going to play poorly and Liverpool lose. He's too much of a... Sorry, he's not going to play well and Liverpool lose. He's too much of a dynamic, impactful footballer. And he's potentially the key for their title challenge. And I say this for a couple of reasons. Firstly, partially of what I said before about Gabriel Jesus not being a 25 goal a year player for Arsenal. Liverpool, Salah's on the decline of his career. I say decline. He's in the back end, still elite, still one of the world's best wingers, but coming towards the latter stages of his career. No Sadio Mane. Diogo Jota isn't a player that you can rely on to score you 20 goals a year. Cody Gakpo probably is that player, but you have to give him some time. Luis Diaz probably isn't a 20 goal a year player. So the responsibility falls on someone like Darwin Nunez. And last year, I made a bold call saying that he'd score more goals than Haaland. Obviously, that was stupid in hindsight, but I did that based on what I saw of him playing in Europe and from some of the clips I saw a very dynamic and impactful striker that I think works best through the middle. I don't think he works best out wide. I think he works best through the middle, playing in those channels. And we saw those two goals that he scored. He took them absolutely beautifully, and that is how you get the best out of Darwin Nunez. Bang through that ball into the channel, hit it first time or hit it off a second touch, right into the far corner. That is Darwin Nunez at his absolute best. And if that's something that Liverpool are going to try and unlock more and more, I can't see why he can't lead them to a title challenge. Like, he's good. Like, he's good, and he just wasn't. It just didn't click for him last year. Whereas this year, I mean, that game against Newcastle shows us that when he's on and when it does click, he's going to be dangerous. Like, he's going to be dangerous because the natural comparison is to Haaland just based on the price and when they both arrived into the league. Haaland's far more of a clinical goal scorer, probably far smarter in terms of his game positioning and all this stuff. But when you look at Nunez's other attributes, I think Nunez is probably a more dynamic athlete than Haaland. Haaland's extremely quick and extremely powerful, but mainly in straight lines. And when he's straight line running, he's very hard to stop. But Nunez is probably a better dribbler, probably has a little bit better technique in terms of carrying the ball forward, and he's a little bit more dynamic in terms of being able to get into those channels and being able to change positions very quickly and scoring from a lot of different avenues. There are things that Nunez has that Haaland doesn't. Obviously, Haaland's the most clinical finisher that the game has seen in a long time, right? And he's the best striker on the planet, pure number 9. I'm not doubting that in any sense. But there's something about Nunez that is like, hold on, there's something here. Like, there is something here that can really, really drive Liverpool, like, genuinely. And it's, I just saw those two goals. I watched the mini match of that game back. Optus Sport mini matches are stupidly good, by the way, just quietly. But I watched the mini match of that game back, and I was like, fuck, Nunez is like, he's there and thereabouts. Like, he's creating chances. He's getting in good positions. He took both of his goals stupidly well. Like, they're very good finishes, very tight finishes. And for him to do it in a moment like that, down to 10 men, away from home, down to 10 men, away from home, 1-0 down, to score 2 goals in 10 minutes and to drag your team over the line and get them 3 points, it's pretty impressive. And I mean, when you take a look at how he scored both of those goals, if we take a look at how he scored both of those goals, it was those balls into the channels. It was those balls into the channels. It was using his pace and using his athleticism to get in behind the defence. And Liverpool's kind of trademark, probably not recently, like last year they started to play a little bit more of a controlled brand of football. Probably in years previous, Liverpool's chaotic, high-tempo, counter-attacking football it really suits Darwin Nunez, and I don't know if they're going to necessarily go back to that as chaotic a brand of football as what Liverpool were a couple of seasons ago, because I feel like they're trying to become far more controlled. But like if you took this version of Darwin Nunez and put it in that 18-19 Liverpool team, oh, like he would have scored bags of goals, like bags of goals, because he was deadly. Like that season for Liverpool, how prolific and how just like just clinical they were on the counter attack. Darwin Nunez is one of those players that when you get him going on the counter attack, in behind, in the channel, out wide, he's like he can score 25 plus a season in the league minimum. Like he's that type of player for sure. For sure, he's that type of player. He's got what? 2 goals. He's got 2 goals in 3 games. He's got 2 goals in two goals in 3 games. Did he? I don't think he started the game. Didn't start the game against Chelsea. Didn't start the game against Bournemouth either. I think he should start up front for them. I think Liverpool's best. Yeah, I think Liverpool's best front three is Nunez through the middle, with Salah and Diaz either side. That's what I think that their best front three is. It's stiff on Gakpo and it's stiff on Jota, but that's what I think their best front three is. Because I see that front three being the best balanced front three out of them all, and I feel like if you want a pure goal scorer, Darwin Nunez is the most pure of goal scorers that Liverpool have. So yeah, that would be my front three. I know they've started. I think they started Jota up front in all 3 of their games. So the game against Chelsea, they went Diaz, Jota, Salah. Game against Bournemouth, they went Diaz, Jota, Salah, and they went Diaz, Gakpo, Salah. Yeah, it's Diaz, Nunez, Salah. That's what it is in my opinion. Diaz on the left, Salah on the right, Nunez up front. That's I think their best front three starting. But how do you leave Cody Gakpo out, and how do you leave Diogo Jota out? It's tricky because both of those players are still stupidly good, right? And you can't just discard them. But they're good. Like they are real. Like they're good. Like yeah. Like Darwin. Like I don't know how to summarize this, but Darwin Nunez is the key to a potential title challenge for Liverpool. Like I said, the ability for him to get in the channels in the way that he can, for him to score as clinically as what he showed against Newcastle. If they can get the best out of him, he's that 25-30 goal a year striker in the league minimum. Like I said, the comparisons to Haaland last year were potentially a little bit unfair for both parties. But I think one more year in the Premier League for Nunez, and he can really, really start to kick on. And if he can improve at the rate that he's improving right now, 25 goals a year is probably the expectation. And if he can get to that mark, adding that 20 goals from Salah, adding 15 from Diaz, why can't they go on a title challenge? And I think if they do, it will all stem from Darwin Nunez. I don't see Liverpool mounting a title challenge unless Darwin Nunez doesn't score 20 plus goals a year. Because what we saw against Newcastle was a clinical, dynamic, game-changing number 9 that, if given the chance, can blow this league wide open. Like, it's really, really exciting. I'd be really excited if I was a Liverpool supporter. Really excited because the sky's the limit with this guy. Sky's the absolute limit with this guy. So I would get excited. I'd definitely get excited. So that's probably all for the Liverpool kind of aspect of this.